Perhaps you've witnessed your fair share of wild weather, from gusty storms and powerful typhoons to terrifying tornadoes. But have you ever beheld the spectacle of an ice tsunami? Or found yourself beneath skies turned as red as blood in broad daylight? Perhaps you've marveled at waves as tall as a 5-story building, devouring the shore. Extreme weather can be far stranger and more captivating than mere winds, rain, and hailstones. So join us as we explore some of the most peculiar and awe-inspiring weather phenomena ever caught on camera. Number 1. Baltic Sea thunderstorms. Thunderstorms aren't confined to land. They can unleash their fury at sea as well. The Baltic Sea in particular is no stranger to these tumultuous gatherings of nature's power. But how does this maritime meteorological spectacle unfold? When warm, moisture-laden air rises swiftly in an unstable atmosphere, it gives birth to colossal clouds, some soaring to staggering altitudes of up to 20 kilometers. This marks the inception of a thunderstorm. While thunderstorms can materialize anywhere on our planet, they tend to favor tropical and subtropical regions. Thunderstorms over the Baltic Sea may not be an everyday occurrence, but when they do manifest, especially during the summer and autumn months, they can intensify dramatically. So, what does a Baltic Sea thunderstorm entail? Expect lightning bolts capable of striking up to 10 kilometers away from the thunderstorm's core, accompanied by thunderclaps audible up to 40 kilometers distant. Gusty winds whip up waves, potentially leading to flooding, while heavy rain reduces visibility and poses landslide risks. Hail can also be part of the package. For a vivid example, consider September 2020 when Finland was battered by a merciless storm dubbed Aila. This tempest left over 80,000 households without power and disrupted ferry traffic in the northern reaches of the Baltic Sea. Conditions were so dire that authorities advised people to remain indoors. There was also the harrowing incident in July 2019, when the ferry Regina Seaways encountered a massive thunderstorm while journeying from Klaipėda in Lithuania to Kiel in Germany. Lightning, ferocious wind gusts, torrential rain, the full spectrum of tempestuous elements. Thankfully, all passengers and crew emerged unharmed, albeit a tad shaken. Number 2. Sea foam flood. Have you ever witnessed the sea ejecting mounds of foam akin to a colossal washing machine gone haywire? That's precisely the remarkable phenomenon known as sea foam. It's a natural spectacle born from the decomposition of the ocean's organic constituents, including algae, plankton, bacteria, and fungi. This process generates copious bubbles that are propelled by the wind and waves, resulting in the creation of sea foam. Depending on the composition of the water, sea foam can exhibit a range of colors, from pristine white to earthy brown, or even a hint of yellow. Under the right circumstances, it can spread across extensive stretches of beach, piling up several meters high. However, beneath its whimsical exterior lies a concealed hazard. Sea foam can conceal various objects, from debris and rocks to logs and small creatures. Venture too close, and you might encounter an unpleasant surprise. This is why experts advise observers to admire from a distance, refraining from any tactile exploration. Additionally, sea foam may harbor potentially harmful bacteria or chemicals, offering yet another compelling reason to exercise caution. This captivating spectacle often manifests after a storm, when the waters have been tumultuously churned. For instance, Australia's east coast has experienced a series of extreme weather events in recent months, including floods, bushfires, and cyclones. Consequently, sea foam has made several appearances, dramatically altering coastal landscapes. Take, for instance, Froggy Beach near the Gold Coast in Queensland. In December 2020, the entire expanse of the beach was engulfed by a thick brown sea foam, sparking considerable intrigue among visitors and garnering media attention. Number 3. Glacier tsunamis. The trigger for a glacier tsunami is often the rapid melting and retreat of glaciers, a sobering consequence of climate change. As these colossal ice formations recede, they leave behind steep, precarious slopes primed for collapse. The melting ice undermines the frost and ice that hold rocks in place, significantly elevating the risk of landslides. Additionally, the meltwater that accumulates at the glacier's base, forming lakes or ponds, adds a potent source of energy that could unleash a tsunami. Instances of glacier tsunamis have been reported across the globe, particularly in mountainous regions such as the Himalayas, British Columbia, and Alaska. Let's delve into a couple of compelling examples. British Columbia's West Grenville Glacier, November 2020. A colossal landslide, estimated at a staggering 48 million cubic meters, occurred near the West Grenville Glacier in British Columbia. This landslide traveled approximately 14 kilometers before striking a lake, generating a tsunami with waves towering up to a staggering 70 meters. The devastating force of this wave flattened everything in its path, obliterating trees, bridges, and buildings alike. Alaska's Tyndall Glacier, October 2015. Alaska witnessed a monumental landslide near the Tyndall Glacier, setting off a tsunami that surged through the Ton Fjord. The landslide raced at astonishing speeds, reaching up to 160 kilometers per hour, while the ensuing tsunami wave soared to a terrifying height of 193 meters. In its wake, it eroded approximately 12 kilometers of shoreline, leaving an indelible mark of destruction. These occurrences of glacier tsunamis, though not everyday events, underscore their capacity for widespread damage and the profound threat they pose to both human life and property. Nature's fury, as exemplified by these events, serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable forces at play. Number 4. Flooding at Luton Airport. Allow me to recount a rather remarkable tale concerning Luton Airport. For those unfamiliar, Luton stands as one of the United Kingdom's major airports, handling an impressive tally of over 16 million passengers annually. However, on a fateful Friday in August 2019, this bustling airport had an extraordinary day. Torrential rain cascaded over the area, subjecting parts of the airport terminal to an unexpected deluge. The meteorological office recorded an astonishing 1.7 inches of rainfall within a mere hour, a staggering downpour by any measure. The water streamed relentlessly through the terminal's roof, saturating the floors and creating substantial puddles in every corner. Captivating videos of this pandemonium surfaced, showcasing water seeping from the ceiling, luggage submerged, and travelers navigating ankle-deep water. Remarkably, the runway and air traffic control tower remained unscathed, allowing flights to continue taking off and landing. However, not all passengers were thrilled about trudging through the water to retrieve their belongings or board their planes. Some expressed their discontent, feeling that the airport staff could have provided more effective communication and assistance. This episode serves as a vivid reminder of how climate change exerts its influence across various sectors, including transportation. The Committee on Climate Change in the UK has highlighted the looming threats posed to the nation's infrastructure by rising temperatures, sea level increases, storms, floods, and droughts. Urgent action is emphasized as the imperative path forward to both adapt to and mitigate these challenges, underscoring the far-reaching implications of climate change on our daily lives. Number 5. The frozen lighthouse. Consider Lake Michigan, one of North America's 5 Great Lakes, entirely nestled within the United States. During winter, this region experiences an intense chill, marked by extreme cold and heavy snowfall. Picture a lighthouse on Lake Michigan's shore, an ordinary sight, except in winter. Thanks to the freezing spray from the lake's waves, it transforms into something utterly enchanting. While it doesn't truly become an ice lighthouse, the accumulation of ice and snow bestows upon it an otherworldly appearance. The recipe for crafting these frozen lighthouses is surprisingly uncomplicated: frigid temperatures, liquid lake water, and gusty winds. The thermometer must dip below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, causing lake water to freeze upon contact with the lighthouse's surface. Subject to the wind's direction and intensity, these ice formations can soar to breathtaking heights of up to 70 feet. Locations such as St. Joseph, South Haven, Manistee, Ludington, Muskegon, Grand Haven, Frankfort, and Charlevoix along Lake Michigan's shoreline have earned renown for these mesmerizing icy spectacles. Number 6. Ice shove, unpredictable force. Imagine residing beside a vast ocean or an expansive lake, and one day you witness a formidable wall of ice steadily encroaching upon the shoreline. It may sound like a scene plucked from the pages of a fantasy novel, but this is a genuine natural phenomenon known as an ice shove. So, what's at play here? Ice shoves occur when temperatures fluctuate, winds intensify, or water levels undergo alterations, resulting in the forceful movement of ice towards the land. Astonishingly, these ice formations can amass heights of up to 40 feet, defying belief. This extraordinary occurrence is not as infrequent as one might assume. For example, in December 2020, Utah Lake bore witness to an ice shove that created a broken ice wall, reaching heights of up to 15 feet in certain areas. This was instigated by robust winds sweeping across the lake following a sudden drop in temperatures. Similarly, in March 2021, Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin experienced an ice shove that inflicted damage upon several homes and docks along its northern shore. Warm, southerly winds fractured the ice sheet and thrust it against the shoreline, leaving an indelible mark of nature's might. Number 7. Crazy winds. Let's pivot our attention to Mount Elbrus, nestled in the Caucasus Mountains, a dormant volcano that reigns as the loftiest peak in both Russia and Europe. While it may not pose technical climbing challenges, ascending Mount Elbrus is no mere stroll in the park. Adventurers must grapple with extreme weather conditions, particularly the relentless and ferocious winds that call this towering summit home. These tempestuous winds have the power to conjure blizzards that shroud the landscape in near-zero visibility, causing temperatures to plummet well below freezing. Picture yourself contending with gusts reaching speeds of up to 200 kilometers per hour at the pinnacle. It may sound surreal, but these extreme winds on Mount Elbrus are not merely challenging. They can prove perilous, even deadly. In a harrowing incident from September 2021, a group of 19 climbers confronted a sudden blizzard while ascending over 5,000 meters up the mountain. The weather took an abrupt turn, resulting in a broken leg for one member, significantly slowing the group's progress. Tragically, 2 climbers succumbed to freezing temperatures, and 2 others lost consciousness and later perished during the rescue operation, a daunting task compounded by the unforgiving high winds, impaired visibility, and bone-chilling cold. Number 8. Downbursts, powerful torrents. Let's delve into the intriguing world of downbursts. Imagine a formidable surge of wind hurtling earthward, subsequently radiating in all directions upon making contact with the ground. While it might evoke thoughts of a tornado, a downburst is a distinct meteorological phenomenon. These can be categorized into 2 types: dry and wet microbursts. Dry microbursts are associated with thunderstorms that bring limited rainfall to the surface, while wet microbursts manifest during periods of heavy precipitation. But how do these formidable downbursts come into being? Picture a thunderstorm engendering a downdraft of cold air, descending rapidly from the cloud base. Upon reaching the Earth's surface, this air unleashes a horizontal frenzy, generating potent wind gusts capable of wreaking havoc on structures, trees, power lines, and even aircraft. Hungary, particularly during its thunderstorm-prone summers, has experienced its fair share of downbursts. For instance, on July 27, 2019, a downburst tore through the vicinity of Lugos, a village in eastern Hungary, clocking in at approximately 75 miles per hour and inflicting damage on roofs, vehicles, and crops. Then, in August 2019, Oroszlány, a town in central Hungary, fell victim to a downburst that uprooted trees and toppled power lines with winds reaching approximately 80 miles per hour. Lastly, in June 2020, various regions of Hungary, including the capital city of Budapest, were beset by a downburst with wind speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, leading to widespread destruction and power outages. Number 9. Typhoon Fury in Hong Kong. Let's journey to Hong Kong, a coastal metropolis well acquainted with the tempestuous presence of typhoons. These tropical cyclones originate over the western Pacific Ocean and unleash a maelstrom of extreme weather upon Hong Kong, featuring formidable winds, deluge-inducing rainfall, storm surges, and flooding. Such conditions can inflict substantial damage and significantly disrupt everyday life. In 2022, Hong Kong faced its most severe typhoon of the year, Typhoon Nisat. This ferocious tempest made landfall on October 18, 2022, boasting wind speeds reaching a formidable 156 kilometers per hour and spanning a breadth of 147 kilometers. Hong Kong's meteorological observatory employs a warning signal system, consisting of 8 signals, to forewarn residents about impending typhoons. These signals range from 1, signifying an impending typhoon, to 10, indicating hurricane-force winds. Signal 10 is raised when wind speeds are projected to surpass 118 kilometers per hour at sea level. The last time a Signal 10 was hoisted in Hong Kong was on September 16, 2018, when Typhoon Mangkhut, the most intense typhoon recorded in the city since 1946, made landfall. This tempest unleashed gusts of up to 256 kilometers per hour, leaving a trail of widespread devastation and disruption in its wake. Number 10. Typhoon Chanhom. Cast your memory back to the tempestuous typhoon season of 2019, and you'll likely recall Typhoon Chanhom, a formidable cyclone that swept across East Asia in October. This monstrous storm marked the 14th disturbance and the 8th typhoon of the 2019 Pacific typhoon season. Its journey began as a tropical depression near Guam on October 4th, rapidly escalating to a tropical storm just 2 days later. By October 8th, it had matured into a ferocious typhoon, boasting maximum sustained winds of 195 kilometers per hour, equivalent to a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Typhoon Chanhom then charted a course along the eastern coast of Japan, subjecting regions like Okinawa, Kagoshima, Miyazaki, Kochi, Tokushima, and Shizuoka to torrential rains and howling winds. As if that weren't enough, it triggered waves that surged ashore, sparking widespread flooding. On October 10th, Chanhom made landfall on an island near Ningbo in China's Zhejiang province, still packing formidable winds of 175 kilometers per hour, making it a Category 2 equivalent typhoon. Remarkably, it was the most powerful typhoon to strike Zhejiang in July since 1949. Chanhom's arrival unleashed torrential rains and flooding across several Chinese provinces, affecting over 12 million people and causing more than $1 billion in economic losses. Transportation, power, and communication services were severely disrupted in many areas. By October 11th, Chanhom had exhausted its fury and dissipated over Jiangxi. Number 11. Diego de Almagro's dust storm encounter. Nestled in Chile's arid Atacama Desert, the town of Diego de Almagro, named after a 16th-century Spanish explorer, is intimately familiar with the phenomenon of dust storms. These immense dust storms manifest as imposing walls of dust and debris swept into the region by powerful winds emanating from thunderstorms. On March 17, 2022, this town grappled with an immense dust storm that drastically reduced visibility and posed perilous conditions for its inhabitants. Dust storms materialize when robust winds uplift vast quantities of sand and dust from parched, bare soils into the atmosphere. The likelihood of these storms hinges on geographic factors and vegetation cover. Flat, arid terrains devoid of substantial tree and plant life are particularly susceptible, as winds can gather momentum, propelling copious dust into the air. Though visually striking, dust storms bring unwelcome consequences. They can adversely impact climate patterns, jeopardize human health, harm the environment, and pose challenges for various sectors. Dust particles can disrupt cloud formation, precipitation, and the Earth's radiation equilibrium. Reduced visibility for drivers and pilots can lead to accidents and delays, while crops and soil quality may suffer as organic matter and nutrients are stripped away. Furthermore, dust storms can induce health problems, particularly among individuals with respiratory conditions such as asthma. Number 12. Supercells, the titans of thunderstorms. Let's explore the formidable realm of supercells, a unique and immensely powerful type of thunderstorm characterized by a rotating updraft called a mesocyclone. These are no ordinary storms. Rather, they rank as the most potent and destructive breed of thunderstorms, capable of unleashing a barrage of hazards, including large hail, fierce winds, tornadoes, flash floods, and lightning. The formation of supercells necessitates 3 primary ingredients: instability, lift, and wind shear. Instability arises from significant differences in temperature and humidity between the Earth's surface and the upper atmosphere. Lift refers to the mechanism initiating the initial upward movement of air parcels, driven by phenomena like cold fronts, dry lines, or mountain ranges. Finally, wind shear, a variation in wind speed and/or direction with altitude, begets horizontal rotation, subsequently tilted vertically by the updraft. Supercells can inflict substantial damage. They can produce hailstones exceeding 2.5 centimeters in diameter, causing harm to crops, vehicles, and structures. Wind speeds can exceed 93 kilometers per hour, toppling trees, downing power lines, and tearing roofs asunder. Supercells may even spawn tornadoes, violent rotating columns of air with wind speeds exceeding 480 kilometers per hour, capable of devastating everything in their path. Moreover, supercells bring heavy rainfall leading to flash floods and unleashing intense, frequent lightning strikes that pose the risk of fires, electronics damage, and harm to living beings, both human and animal. Number 13. Australian bushfires, a devastating calamity. The Australian bushfires of 2020 stand as a colossal catastrophe that left an indelible mark on the lives of people, animals, and the environment. To appreciate the scale of this tragic event, consider these sobering facts. These fires were ignited by a perilous combination of soaring temperatures and an extended period of drought, raged for weeks, and consumed more than 11 million hectares, equivalent to over 27.2 million acres of precious bushland, forests, and national parks across Australia. While the fires cast their menacing shadow across every Australian state and territory, New South Wales and Victoria bore the brunt of the devastation. Apart from the staggering loss of natural habitats, the fires triggered a far-reaching air pollution crisis, wreaking havoc on public health. The human toll was nothing short of heart-wrenching, with the fires claiming the lives of at least 33 individuals, including 4 valiant firefighters, while thousands more were displaced or evacuated. Health repercussions were severe, with over 4,000 people requiring hospitalization due to smoke inhalation, and an estimated 445 premature deaths linked to smoke exposure. Yet, humans weren't the sole victims. Kangaroo Island alone witnessed the tragic demise of an estimated 25,000 koalas, while millions of other animals perished throughout the country. In terms of economic costs, insurance claims stemming from the fires reached AUD 2.2 billion. Furthermore, the healthcare expenses associated with lives lost and hospital admissions amounted to an estimated AUD 2 billion. The Australian bushfires of 2020 serve as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of climate-related disasters and the urgent need for proactive measures to safeguard lives, ecosystems, and the future of our planet. Number 14. Southern Ocean Storms. Venturing into the realm of Southern Ocean storms, we encounter a captivating yet formidable facet of meteorology. These storms arise from the tumultuous clash between the frigid polar air and the warmer subtropical air, giving birth to tempests characterized by ferocious winds, towering waves, and deluges of rain. For sailors, these tempests constitute a harrowing ordeal, conjuring a hostile maritime environment and drastically curtailing visibility. However, their impact transcends the confines of the open sea, reverberating through the global climate system by facilitating the release of carbon dioxide from the ocean into the atmosphere. These storms are no mere passing showers, they are colossal in scale, often spanning an astonishing 2,000 miles from north to south and impacting up to 4 million square miles of ocean simultaneously. Moreover, they are frequent and fast-moving, with the polar fronts aptly named the Roaring Forties and Furious Fifties hurtling through every few days. Brace yourselves, for the waves these tempests whip up are titanic, as attested by the Royal New Zealand Navy, which recorded waves surging to towering heights of up to 20 meters in 2014. Lastly, these tempests usher in a profound temperature drop as the cold front passes, causing the thermometer to plummet by as much as 10 degrees Celsius. Number 15. Tidal bore's upstream spectacle. Imagine a wave or even a series of waves defying the natural current and surging up a river or narrow bay. It's an exhilarating sight, isn't it? Well, this captivating phenomenon is precisely what we call a tidal bore, a formidable tidal surge that pushes its way upstream. But not every waterway boasts this spectacle. Specific conditions must align to give rise to a tidal bore. Firstly, the river must be relatively shallow. Secondly, it should have a narrow outlet leading to the sea. Thirdly, the estuary, the point where the river meets the sea, must be wide and flat. Lastly, the coastal region's tidal range. The difference between high and low tide needs to be substantial, at least 6 meters or about 20 feet. While these conditions are usually met in particular locales, there are exceptions, such as the Amazon River, the world's largest river. Despite its wide mouth, the Amazon still experiences a robust tidal bore due to its shallow, island-laden, and sandbar-strewn estuary. Tidal bores occur at several renowned locations worldwide, including the Qiantang River in China, which hosts the world's most massive tidal bore, the Severn River in England, the Petit Kodiak River in Canada, the Batang River in Malaysia, and the Amazon River in Brazil. Although they can pose challenges for shipping, tidal bores offer thrilling opportunities for river surfers. Moreover, they play a vital role in preventing the development of deltas in certain river systems, like the Amazon. So, which of these natural wonders leaves you most intrigued? Let us know in the comments below.